world is fighting. We can see the war between Israel and Palestine, we can see the war between Iran and Pakistan, and also the Russia and Ukraine war. And because of this political war, we can see the economic repercussion. And in this scenario, it's very important to have a platform which finds a solution between all these conflicts. Hello friends, welcome to the Economy Primer series of Drishti IAS. I am Ritu and today's session is about World Trade Organization. Why we have chosen this topic? Because World Trade Organization is a topic which never goes out of trend, and it always offers a solution when the world is into the conflict, and it develops the economy and boosts the economy through its innovative measures. So moving towards the points of discussion part. First of all, we are going to discuss that why World Trade Organization is into the discussion. Then we'll have a brief intro about WTO. Then we are going to discuss objective and principle of WTO. And then we are going to discuss important trade agreements of WTO, India and World Trade Organization. And we are also going to discuss practice question for prelims. So moving to the introduction part. So this is the why in discussion. Before discussing this topic, first of all, you have to like, share and subscribe to the Drishti IAS channel. So why this topic is into the discussion? Commerce Ministry calls stakeholders meet on WTO issues on Jan 20. India appeals second panel report in dispute regarding India tech tariffs. DDG POGM trade is becoming more political, more sustainable, more traceable. India asks WTO to carve out for poor fishing nations. So what all these newspaper cutout says that WTO is always into the news, and especially in context of India, because if there is any queries, if there is any dispute, India always reaches to WTO and WTO tries to find a solution. And it's not just India, other country also reaches to the WTO. So that's why this topic is relevant and this topic is into the discussion. So moving towards the introduction part. So what is World Trade Organization? It is an international organization which boosts the economy, which provides a platform that among all the chaotic situation, among all the disputes, how we can survive and how we can run the economy of the world. So that's why this is called as World Trade Organization, and it consists 164 members present and 23 observers. So this is the membership of WTO, and where its headquarters is situated. So it is situated in Geneva, Switzerland. And who is the current direct general of the WTO? So she is 𝐾𝐤 𝐿𝐻. She is the first African woman to hold this post. So that's why she is also important for prelims perspective, and in many state examination this question has been already asked. So that's why this question is very much relevant. And WTO is a predecessor of GATT, so which is General Agreement on Trade and Tariffs. So when the GATT was formed, so GATT was formed in 1948, but GATT was transformed to the World Trade Organization in the year 1995, and India was founding member of GATT in the 1948, and India has been also associated with the World Trade Organization. So why GATT has been shifted to the World Trade Organization? So first of all, we should know the purpose of GATT. So what is the purpose of GATT? So in the 1948, many countries were colonized, and it was also the era when the world was not globalized. So it is the first step towards the economic globalization, and initially it has 23 members including the Canada, and it offers the tariff barriers and also the tariff imports and so many free trade agreement between the member nations. So that's why it promoted the economic liberalization and economic globalization. So that's why GATT is relevant. So why it shifted to the WTO? Because GATT has a similar kind of the purpose. Indeed, they have a similar kind of the purpose, but GATT only dealt with the goods condition. It didn't dealt with the services. On the other hand, WTO also dealt with the goods and services. That's why there is a need to have WTO organization in the era of 20th century. So that's why we have this WTO. And also the GATT was not proper institutionalized. So we need to have a proper institution and proper office kind of situation. So that's why World Trade Organization was need of an hour, and now it is serving the purpose. Moving to the next slide is about objective of the World Trade Organization. So they have the similar objective like the GATT, to formulate and implement rules for the international trade. This is very fine. And then to provide a platform for negotiation and monitoring the trade kind of the situation, because it offers a platform where you can negotiate between different trade and commerce kind of thing, where countries can collaborate each other. And the third thing is settlement of dispute. This is very much need of an hour, because many times we have resources, but we often indulge into so many disputes. So there should be a platform to initiate that, how to solve all these disputes. And then it also boosts the economy of low income countries. So in that way, this is very helpful for the low income countries. And also it cooperates with the different world economies and world economic organization, just like World Bank, UN, IMF. So it helps to offer economic management throughout the world. Moving to the principal part. So similar to the GATT, they have the similar principle, because GATT offers a non-discriminatory policy. So it promotes a non-discriminatory policy. It does not mean that if any country is developing or if any country is developed, they'll have a better benefit or they'll have a more say in World Trade Agreement. So this is a good thing about World Trade Organization. Then most favored nation, all nations should be treated equally. So we already had discussed the non-discrimination. Most favored nation has a similar objective, that if you are providing low tariff to, suppose that India is providing low tariff to US and US is providing low tariff to India. So India has to provide low tariff to all the member nations. So it will not discriminate with the other nations. So this is the non-discrimination and most favored nation policy and national treatment. So here you will have a similar treatment of foreign goods also and then local goods also. So there will be no discrimination between the foreign goods and the local goods, and reciprocity, that if you are helping any country, the country will also help, and it should be escalated to the whole member nation. And predictability through binding and enforceability commitment. Commitment is very much needed. So there is an enforceable commitment into through the World Trade Organization. Transparency is needed because GATT lacks transparency. So that's why transparency was needed of an hour, and encouraging development and economic reforms, because with time economic reforms is need of an hour. And because in pandemic we have seen that few countries needed economic reforms, and in fact whole world needed economic reforms. Then we have this Russia-Ukraine war, and impact of Russia-Ukraine war can be seen throughout the world, especially on the European countries. So because of all these war kind of situation, we need economic reforms, that how to boost our economy, how to boost the domestic economy, how to preserve the economy. So that's why this is the principle of World Trade Organization. Moving to the next slide, important trade agreements of WTO. So there are so many agreements, but these are the important ones. Agreement on agriculture. So they have few criteria for boxes. We have amber box, green box. So this is a criteria for the agreement on agriculture. Then we have TRIPS agreement. Here also there are certain criteria for the patent rights, GI, geographical indication, design, origin. So these are the different criteria for intellectual property rights. Then we'll have a sanitary and psychosanitary measures. So these are the need of an hour. So World Trade Organization also works into this direction. Agreement on technical barriers to trade. So there are so many barriers. Some countries have a different import conditions, some countries have a different routes. So WTO also helps into this matter. Agreement on trade related investment measures. So TRIPS offers that there should be the credible source. It should not be discriminatory in nature. And similarly, GATT has also that you have to follow the Article 3 regulation of the GATT. So these are the agreement of World Trade Organization, which helps to boosting the economies of all the nation, and it tries to follow the non-discriminatory policy so that no country could get discriminated. Moving to the next one, which is India and WTO. So here we will study that how much India has been impacted through WTO, and there are positive and negative impacts both in this side. So first of all, we'll go through the positive impacts of the WTO. So India's export competitiveness has risen because of the WTO. In a globalized world, export competitiveness is need of an hour. If you will not be competitive, you will not know that how much worth you are. So this has boosted by the WTO. Then lower tariff has benefited the Indian economy because India has been exposed to the other markets also, and India's growth and development has been pursued by transferring and exchanging the knowledge, because it is a group of 164 member nations. So this is not just limited to India or Asian countries. Here you will share the knowledge to other countries and you will get knowledge from the other countries. So this has benefited to the Indian economy. And also India got so much market access because we produce a lot of things, but sometimes we have only conjoinity with the few countries. So it provided large market access. So in this way it has boosted the India economy. And then it also solves through the trade dispute, because India is also indulged with so many trade disputes with other countries. So in that way it has helped India positively. Coming to the negative points, we have few negative points related to World Trade Agreement, and the first is the Indian Patent Act. So whatever the trips we have in terms of the WTO, it does not go with the Indian Patent Act. Indian patent has a different rules and regulation, and TRIPS has a different rules and regulation. So they don't share similarities. So that's why India has to face problem into this direction. And then also the introduction of patents by MNCs. So because MNCs has introduced so much patent, so there is no generic drugs left, and if generic drugs are left, that's are very high cost. So it gives problems to the poor people because they cannot afford high cost of the drug prices. On the other hand, India is an agriculture based country and they have a different patent conditions, criterias and credibility. And because of we are agriculture based country, so that makes a difficult in the area of agriculture. And also because here there is a similar condition and you have to lower the tariff for other countries. So China take advantage of this situation, and we can see the dumping kind of situation because China dumps lot of cheap stuff to the India. So this is also the thing. And in the recent during the pandemic, we have seen that with the help of WTO, India has banned few Chinese apps, and this dispute went to the WTO, and WTO has favorably helped the India. So this is the negative impacts. And why we are getting so much negative impacts from the WTO, because in comparison to other countries, India's economic condition is very much different. So that also creates another kind of hurdle to have similarities and to have conjoinity with the WTO. Moving to the next slide. Next slide is about what are the cases India has registered to the WTO. So India appeals second panel report in dispute regarding Indian take tariffs. So this is another case. WTO issues panel reports in two disputes between India and the United States. Though United States are the largest trading partner of the India, but still we share few disputes, and India has taken this dispute to the WTO. So what all these examples shows that WTO is helping the countries to solve out their dispute and to have an efficient economy for each country. Similarly, the Indian sugar subsidies were new. So India has also appealed this to the World Trade Organization. Moving to the practice question for prelims, and the question is related to World Trade Organization, and the first statement is its headquarters is located in Geneva, and the second statement is India is a founder member of 1947 GATT and its successor the WTO. So here they are asking the correct statement, so you have to answer in the comment section. So this portion can be useful for your mains also. Many times in mains they can ask that what are the positive and negative impacts for WTO, and they can ask in the Indian context, and they can also ask in general context that how they are serving the positive impacts and how they are serving the negative impacts. So first what you have to do, that you have to briefly define the WTO, and then you have to write the positive and negative points about the WTO. First, that in the era of chaos, it offers a solution, and it is the only platform which has the largest number of world members, and it is helpful in trade disputes. So First, it is very helpful in providing solution, and there is an organization which offers solution, which provides platforms and which provides voices for the marginalized countries, least developed countries, that they should also speak on their behalf. On the other hand, it has also helped the various economies that how to go with the current WTO rules and how to change yourself. So it is boosting the lower economies and especially the developing economies. On the other hand, it has some loopholes also, because WTO has not defined that what is definition of developed country, developing countries and least developed countries. So each country has their own kind of definition, and what happens that WTO has rules for developed countries, developing countries. So sometimes countries who have a good and sound economic condition, they also define themselves as a developing countries, and they take benefits, unnecessary benefits from the WTO. So this also creates a problem, and this creates so much dispute between different countries. Also, WTO has been formed in 1995 and it has hardly worked on the e-commerce. And today, in the era of digital era, we need to focus on e-commerce technological aspect, and we need to also revive the appellate authority, because many times countries complain that appellate authority is inactive and it is not listening to them. So structural changes are also required in terms of WTO whole administrative setup. So I hope you like this session. If you have any queries later to this session, kindly ask in the comment section. Thank you.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.